On The Price of Freedom, we've told you about local veterans who were sent to the Marshall Islands in the late 1970s to clean up atomic waste. The U.S. government tested atomic and nuclear weapons on these small islands in the Pacific Ocean, about 3,000 miles from Australia. Tonight, one veteran explains what he did in 1978 and how his service there has impacted his health since then. He's been fighting illnesses for years. Tonight, Carlos Vela won't get much sleep. He rarely does. He says he's afraid he won't wake up tomorrow morning.
So this might be the last recording. I don't know.
We've told you about Carlos and a few thousand others who were sent to what looked like paradise to clean up waste after atomic weapons testing in the Marshall Islands. But what do these soldiers and DOE contractors do with all that material from one of the most radioactive places on Earth? Well, that's a story in itself. A lot of that material was put into a big crater, and they covered it with this concrete dome.
And some of the debris that we picked up didn't just go inside there. We actually just dumped it into the lagoon.
You heard that right. They took radioactive material and dumped it into the water in the middle of the Eniwetok Atoll. Carlos says he had just turned 18. He was following orders, and he also says he had very limited knowledge of how dangerous this material was. If he had known, there's no chance he would have done what he's about to tell you.
We drank the water out of the lagoon. We didn't have bottled water back then. There was no such thing. We're talking 1978. So we had a watering plant, and they would suck the water out of the lagoon, filter it, and we would take a bath in it. We would drink from it. We had our teas, Kool-Aids, our soups, everything.
It wasn't just Carlos who drank that Kool-Aid and ate that soup. Everyone in the base camp did. Of the people who were sent there in the late 70s, most are no longer living. Most of the others are very sick. Carlos is fighting COPD, prostate cancer, and more.
I did my job. And now I'm sick. And what gets me is the government doesn't even care. They can give two hoots. There's only a handful of people out there that really, really want to help.
Carlos was an infantry soldier. He had no special training in cleaning up hazardous waste. Carlos told me in 2017 he filed a disability claim with the VA. He was denied. He currently has a 0 disability rating.
I'm not mad at my country. I love my country. I'm fully patriotic and I'll defend it to the end. But don't leave me hanging. Don't leave any of us hanging.
There is a bill that would help Carlos and others who were there. It passed the House, even though some members of Congress from this area voted against it, including Chuck Fleischman and Marjorie Taylor Greene. The bill is now scheduled to come up for a vote in the Senate tomorrow. I also want to thank Ken Kasich for many of the photos used in this story. He was a civilian contractor who was there in the Marshall Islands with Carlos and the others.